Assalamu alaikum. This is part 2 regarding what we should do to stay away from any form of worship that Prophet Muhammad did not do, or the Sahaba. And this is regarding basically grave worship. Now, there are literally 3 abwab, chapters that deal with this, and each one is 20 pages. So I'm trying to synthesize it for you. Now, I did the first part, and then I did the little spot about the 5th grade girl because I wanted you to feel it, how it affects people nowadays. Now I'm going to finish the second part. Then there's a third part, and then we'll stop talking about graves. But this is to show you how important it is, and this is to give you an example of why people don't like this book, because they're ashamed of what's going on with their own people in their own countries, and it's continuing and it's never stopped. So this is like a little warning manual, but nobody's listening. But I'm going to tell you because I lived through all of this. Recall in the last lesson, I talked about kissing my dead grandfather in the casket and just all of the inhirafat, we say in Arabic, nonsense, made up, which is not Islam. And I'm sorry to tell you, most of it was taken from Christians. So let's go on now. This is part 2, but they don't give me enough room to write part 2 on the title, so I put it in the description. Okay, this grave visiting, Prophet Muhammad was very, very interested in making sure everybody knew to stop doing it. He made a big point of telling people to stop before he died. Summa annahu la'ana, and this is a big deal. He cursed those who did it. Man fa'alu. Wa sala'a andaha min dalik, and don't pray there either. Wa in lam yubayyin masjid. Don't build these masjids on graves. Khashya an takhida masjida. Or don't even, the Sahaba wouldn't even mess it up at all by putting any kind of a grave next to a place of worship. And here's something interesting. Any place that you are setting out to pray there. Bel kunu ma'uda yusalli fi yusammi masjida. Everywhere people pray is called a masjida. Kama qala sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad, ja'alta li al-arda masjida wa tahura. This is very important. This is a hadith, Bukhari, where Prophet Muhammad said the whole earth is a masjid for me. I can pray anywhere in it. Oh, really? Have you tried that lately in the Middle East? You can in America. You can literally pull up to the side of the road and pray. You can pray in a parking lot. No, you cannot do that in the Middle East. It reminds me of when I was first in Egypt, there was a big discussion. What do we call a masjid? How can we determine a masjid? And they made up some story that it had to have a certain size, space, a certain amount of people had to be praying there regularly. And because people started building what they called the zawiya, it wasn't a Sufi zawiya. It was people that started to get religious, and they wanted to just make a place in their flat, in a corner, and let people just pray there on their free time off work or whatever. Oh, no. They made sure that wasn't going to happen. You understand me? Where I'm going with this. So what happens when Prophet Muhammad says something and then other people disregard it and disallow it? Do you think those people are going to be successful? Well, they'll call them Wahhabi. The more I talk about it, the more I get upset. And what do people do when they're really upset? Sometimes they laugh, right? This is no joke. Wait till you hear what else is coming in these chapters from this book. Look, we're only on 321. There's 1,000 pages of this book. May Allah give me strength to live long enough to finish it for you. Okay, this is all about Tibni Alayha Masjida. All of this we've already done in the previous chapter. It's very repetitive. They say the same thing over and over and over again, but that's Arabic. They might make one word difference and that will make it different, but it doesn't really. Here we are now, another reference that we had heard before, but I'm going to say it again because this is very important. Sahih Albani in this one. والأحمد بسند صحيحة جيد عن Ibn Mas'ud. Now, Ibn Mas'ud was a very famous Sahaba. Radiyallahu anhu. Marfu'an. It's a very high isnad. You can plan that this is right and correct. Inna min ashrari nasi man tudrikuhum as-sa'a wa hum ahyat. The worst people who are going to be alive at the time of the Sa'ah, when it's almost the end of the world. وَالَّذِينَ يَتَّخِذُونَ الْقُبُورَ مَسَاجِدَ. And this is Sahih Warahu Abi Hatim. And we have here Sahih Albani. The people that are going to be alive in the final days, it's referring that they are going to witness this ongoing issue of making the sajid in the wrong places and praying in the wrong places and not allowing to be praying in the places that Prophet Muhammad said, meaning anywhere on the earth you may pray. Now, of course, except graves. Now, and he's giving you the extra grammar here about wahum ahya. And what is the meaning of sa', the akhir zaman? It's called the Amor Adahiya, Alati Tusibul Insan. In the end of time, only the worst people are going to be seeing the end of days. And one of their descriptives is they pray where dead people are buried. In the last days. If this isn't clear enough, and then it's giving you some of the things that might happen. Al-Sharar al-Khalq, what's going to happen. Allah yursilu riyah, Allah will send a wind. Taqbadu nafsu kulli mu'min. And all of the believers will die when this wind comes. Wala yabqa ila sharar al-khalq. And the only people remaining will be the worst of people. Wa alayhim taqumu as-sa'ah. And they're the ones that are going to witness the terrible horror of the end of days or what's going to be happening. And they are alladhina yattakhiduna al-qaburu masajid, the ones who pray in graves. And he keeps repeating this over in different ways, from different hadith, from different reports of the Sahaba. Just in this whole thing is saying, the whole page. Inna man sharar al-khalq dalila an al-nasi yatathawatuna fi shar. They did all different kinds of evil behavior, and they're the ones that are going to be alive in the end of days. And once again, who are they? Those who pray at graves, etc., etc., etc. Then he says here, well, khalas al-bab. We're going to finish up this chapter now. Innahu yajibu ba'da an ash-shirk wa wasailuhu wa yaghliz ala man abadu Allahu indal qabr. We have to be tough with people who do this. Yaghliz ala man abadu Allahu indal qabr. A qabr rajulun salih, even a good man. This yaghliz alayhum, it means ghilza. Even it sounds scary, the word ghilza, yaghliz alayhim. When you find people doing something that Allah really hates, and Prophet Muhammad has told you how bad it is, you're not supposed to be gentle with these people. Now see, this is why this book is not loved. Because there are people who deserve ghilza. Because Allah says in the Quran, وَيَجِدُ فِيكُمْ غِلْزَةً. Ghilza does not mean that you're going to be rude and throw rocks at them and swear at them and spit at them. No, it means you're going to be firm, extremely firm. No wiggle room here. Well, maybe if you could just please, no, stop. But you see, this is why they don't like the book. Now, it's supposed to be for people to follow, people who are following the Salaf. Okay, we'll say it now. But this is a big controversial subject. Do you want to follow the Salaf or not? Most people can't, won't, will never, don't want to. I'm just telling you what the Quran says. أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون. Most people don't believe. أكثر الناس بالحق كارهون. Most people hate the truth. وقليل من عبادي الشكورة. Few are grateful. So that's why you have to take this whole subject in such a way as this would be a perfect world, which we do not live in. However, does that mean that you don't try? I don't know. I mean, I've never been to Saudi Arabia, and I don't even know what the graves look like there. It's supposed to be, as I told you earlier, no inscriptions, nothing built above except a handspan of dirt. I don't know. All I know is what I know, being raised in America and having visited Europe many times. They build houses on top of graves, little mini mansions. They call them crypts. I think I mentioned that earlier. Yeah. All right. So now, and it also mentions often, no matter what your niyyah is, حتى لو أنت يقصد الخير. You don't mean to be doing anything bad. Your intention is good, but it doesn't matter. It's still bid'ah. وكل بدعة دلالة وكل دلالة في النار. So if you start to take this bid'ah thing easy breezy, you're going to end up with a big problem. Now I think we can finish this so much, and it's so repetitive. I don't want to miss anything though that might be helpful to you. It's talking about the intention, and you can continue to stress that you meant well, and these were good holy men, and we love them. But let me just tell you a little aside about what the Catholics do. The Catholics would dig up the Salihin to cut off pieces of them and then send them to us when we were in elementary school. I told you about this. They were called relics, little bits of a finger, pieces of hair, bloody cloth wrapped up in a little package, and then we'd pass it down and bow our heads, make the sign of the cross, and dwell on these salihin, salihat. They could be men and or women. Even قول العيشة يحذر ما صنعوا أي ما صنعوا اليهود والنصارى. Beware of what these other people do who are not Muslims, and don't copy them. Because if you're going to copy them, you're going to have problems. You're going to end up being like them. But you see the lub al-mawdua here, if you can bear with me now, because he's still talking about the qubur and all of the same. And then at least he's saying, asharra ahl bid'ah. He's saying they are the worst mubtada'in, innovators in the religion. And then he names them. And he names them by name. Al-Rafida ismu af'al min rafida shay'an idha istabadat وَسَمُّوا بِذَلِكَ لِأَنَّهُمْ رَفَضُوا زيد بن علي بن الحسين بن علي بن أبي طالب حين سألوا ما تقول في أبي بكر وعمر. Now we're getting into the Khilafah problem. You know, they mix everything, and they assume that you have a background in this, which you won't unless you've studied Islamic history or you've studied the Deen. Here we have bin Saba, وهو يهودي تلبس بالإسلام. He was a sneaky man, this bin Saba. He pretended to be a Muslim. He was an actor, and he was the beginning of Shia. فأظهر التشيع لأهل البيت وغلو فيهم. You know this whole thing about Shia and Ahl al-Bayt. Are they really bad? Were they bad in the beginning? Did they become worse? This is too much for you. This is overload here. because he's continuing to talk about Ibn Saba fi Ahd Ali Abi Talib. We don't want to give you this because we want to get on literally to keep up with the grades, because he's going on a tangent now of every form of bid'ah that you have to be aware of. But one thing that we can sum it up with is you're not supposed to call anyone a mushrik. They won't tell you, they won't even say that Shia are mushriks. They won't even say that Christians are mushriks. Christians are the definition of shirk. Yes. Ask any revert. Ask us. Ask anyone who left Christianity, especially Catholicism. Ask them. You get the truth. They are mushriks. Because shirk means associating power to anyone other than Allah. And that means saints. That whole saint cult leads to kufr, disbelief in Allah, not just associating powers to them, to Allah. Total disbelief. That's what's going to happen to you if you don't follow the straight path, which is the son of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are going to end up in a mess. You will end up a kafir. Mushrik, then kafir. Because it doesn't start right off with kufr. Kufr means disbelief. Shirk means associating other powers, partners to Allah's mighty powers. Can't do that either. But, political expediency doesn't want you to do that. They want you to keep everything shady, not clear, so that you can not be determined to say something is correct and something else is bad. Can't say it. Okay, I'm not going to say Christians are bad. I'm going to say their behavior is bad. They, as human beings, could be good neighbors, could be good friends, could be good teachers, good employees, polite. But what's in the heart? And what is their end game? Fire. You cannot have this kind of thinking. And then they say, is it okay to marry a mushrik? Oh my goodness. That's another reason why they will not say that they're mushriks. Because they take a part of the Quran which they manipulate and say that women cannot marry non-Muslims, but Muslim men can because, they're men. No. There are verses in Surah Al-Baqarah that say, a believing Muslim woman is better for you than a mushrika. And as for you women, a believing Muslim man is better for you than a mushrik. But they only take half of that verse. It's really beyond belief if you know how much this religion is ignored. And then they call the Salafi extremists, like there's something wrong with us, when we're only telling you the truth and trying to bring you to the straight path while you still have time. Yeah, I think we're at the end now. Here's an interesting word. You know the word ibtila, when you get a severe trial and it's hard for you, you have to hold on. When I saw this word here, ma buliya bi, buliya. I said buliya, buliya. We have that word in English. They call a mean person a bully. And it's usually a man, or it's most usually a teenage boy. You know the rough guys in school when they'll meet a weak guy and they'll pick on him and then they'll push him into the locker, or they'll steal his school bag, or they'll knock him down in the schoolyard, little mafias, and say, give me your lunch money. We grew up with this. And I had 5 brothers. So I was witness to this kind of stuff. And it was always, the bully was always the quiet one who minded his own business. He didn't want to hurt anyone. So he was a perfect target for the bully. So now I'm reading this about the bully and I'm saying, okay, ma buliya bi, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, min shiddat naza'a. What does this mean? And then down here I see it again, because the meaning of the words is my favorite part in Arabic. especially because I don't really know what they mean. And then I look for it and I find out and I feel like born again. You know, the Christians say, I'm born again through the blood of Jesus. No, I'm born again through the words of Allah. Because when you get those words in Arabic and then you really understand what it means, oh, I can't explain to you the feeling that you get, really. You feel like you never lived before. You never were a thinking, rational person. Your heart was dead because you didn't know Arabic. That's why they hate it so much. That's why they don't want it to be taught in America. They do everything to prevent this book and this language. They can't really prevent Quran, so they'll let you have a few lessons in the masjid. They'll, let a few people teach Quran, but you don't really understand what you're doing. It's just like they kind of have to, because if they try to stop Quran, there won't be any more peace treaties. We don't stop Quran. No. These people, what they do is they put it in a corner and they carefully vet anyone who's even closely associated with. Of course, it can't be a non-Arab. You have to just let them do their language, as though it doesn't belong to the universe, as though it doesn't belong to everyone. This is what we're living in right now, just so you know. That's why I'm staying here till I get done what I want done, what Allah wants me to do. Finish this book. Wait till you get to the chapters of what they call magic. They're coming up in a couple more chapters. How they literally want it. They want people to believe in what we call magic, which is a misrepresentation of reality. But just wait, bear with me a couple more weeks, and you're going to get something that you won't imagine could really be real and true, but it is. Okay, so getting on now to the bulia. It comes from bala or ibtila. Both of these words come from the same root, and it's balawa, meaning painful trial. So here it's telling you that if you suffer shiddat al-ibtila, you're going to practice sabran jamil, and you will get to the darajat of the sabirin. Once you reach that plateau, that you are considered min as-sabirin, of those who really practice beautiful patience, you're at the highest level. I mean, this is something that Allah loves it. Sabra daraja aliyah la tanalu illa biwujud asbabiha wa minha al-ibtila. You won't reach this until you get a severe trial. Fayusbar alay, and you will be patient. Wa yahtasib, and you will hold back from freaking out. Hatta yunalu jara as-sabirin, and now you are the daraja of sabirin. And this is, you couldn't ask for more, because if Allah knows that if Allah knows, watch what you say. Of course Allah knows everything. But sometimes, when you're reading Arabic and you're translating into English, you'll slip up because you know the meaning, but there's still all that nonsense in your head from how you were raised. You want to get to the level of the highest people. For instance, أكرم ما أكرم به الخلق يدل عليها قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله اتخذني خليلا كما اتخذوا إبراهيم خليلا. Prophet Muhammad said, Allah took me as a personal friend. Like a Khalil means to be alone with him, like he took Ibrahim. ولا شك أن هذه الكرامة عظيمة. It's a big honor. لأننا لا نعلم أحدا نال هذه المرتبة. No one has reached this مرتبة إلا رسول الله وإبراهيم. Just imagine it, that you would reach this level. And then he's talking about Abu Bakr and how Abu Bakr was the closest to Prophet Muhammad, although Prophet Muhammad never did say with words that he appointed him to be the first Khalifa or Khalifa. We say in English, Caliph. He didn't say it, but he made a motion to this. So this is why many people, or the Shia, those who are on the wrong path, will say it should have been Ali, because Ali was closer in every way. But that's not true. We accept Abu Bakr as the first caliph or khalifa, بأن أبو بكر أحب الرجل إليه الرسول. Prophet Muhammad said he loves him. He loves him. He even said it. He loves him more than anyone. And he even says here, لو كنت متخذا أحدا خليلا لأتخذت. I hate it when they don't give you tashkil. See, they don't give us tashkil. It's like, can't we get what you have? No, we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to put tashkil in this book for you. All Points Bulletin, MBS. My brother in Islam, how many times have I asked for a re-edition with tashkil? You have billions. I keep reminding you of your billions. You think your billions are going to protect you? They never will. Not a penny of it will. If Allah is angry with you, I've used this before. Prophet Muhammad said, as he was dying, Waylun lil Arab min sharri ma iqtarab. Beware, you Arabs, of the evil that is near. Now, this word waylun, it's English. We say wail. The word wail, it's a verb. And it means when you're distraught, you're overwhelmed with fear and anger and sadness and everything, you wail. Usually you wail at graves. The women in the old days, when someone would die, they would fall over the grave and wail and scream and cry. Prophet Muhammad said, wail lil Arab. Okay? تصريح إنما قال الإشارة لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أبو بكر هو الخليفة من بعدي. Okay, so it's telling you what I just said. I knew that was at the end. And now we're done. We're done. We're less than a half an hour. Next bab is about غلو في قبور الصالحين and making awthan تعبد من دون الله. I will do that now. And I promise I will, because I always say I'll do it right away and then I never do. It's because I have to go outside to get the net reception to upload this, because I can't do it here because it doesn't work well enough. It will take 2 hours. So I have to stop this and go outside, upload it, and then come back. And that's what I'm going to do. And this next chapter is probably even more fearful, because it's going to describe exactly in detail this ghalu, this bad behavior that they used to do. They're called awthanan yu'abad, pictures and statues that they worship. And it's on the same theme. We're not changing the subject. We're just giving you more details. And of course, then you get a chance to hear some personal activities and memories that I have of my childhood, the way I was raised. Now, of course, I was an extreme. I came from a big religious family, and not all Catholic girls went through what I did. I went through what would you call the Navy SEALs, or the Sa'iqa, or the people that were like the highest level of indoctrination of Taghlīz, Trinitarian lying. I was at the epitome, the apex of it. Never believed it for one split second. Allahu Akbar! Assalamu alaikum.